There's my ship, the Lady Jessica. And she a boat. Currently saving up to get me the next ship up, which is the Orca. Which is probably the least popular ship in the whole game. Strange that there's not many more ships from First Encounters. I've also been playing a bit of First Encounters on my Twitch channel on PC. You can check that out if you're so minded. Just make sure I haven't done anything silly. No, I haven't. Look station. There's much going on in Look station, to be honest. Although they are in Boom. Do they want my universal cartographics? No, they don't. Nobody ever does. So I can take a nice passenger out somewhere. Value target. Man, I would like to hire a ship for a private journey. Now is the perfect time to make a trip to a new system. Fair enough. Take anything from there. This is happening on the news.
After being forcibly freed by Emancipation Group Autonomy. Independent journalist Gwendolyn Nash reported for Vox Galactica. Since being set free outside Port Isabel, the former slaves have been without food, shelter or income. Many complain that they cannot return home without completing their indentured servitude to pay off debts or fulfill contracts. In desperation, thousands of newly homeless have poured into the city. Many public buildings, such as the Imperial Museum of Culture, have been turned into makeshift camps, with large numbers also begging on the streets. Police and support services are struggling to cope with the unexpected influx of immigrants. Already there have been several clashes between citizens and the emancipated, and such incidents are likely to escalate until a solution is found. Alliance President role abolished. The Alliance Assembly has permanently dissolved the role of President of the Alliance, following the recent revelations about Gibbs and Kincaid's multiple crimes. Summarizing the vote, Prime Minister Edmund Mahone said,
I like the thing, so he was a Bob Burger.
Made it clear that the presidential position is open to misuse, which places the integrity of the Alliance at risk. Following a thorough debate on the matter, this Assembly has voted, by an overwhelming majority, to remove the role from our Constitution. The defunct office of the Alliance President will now be restructured. Many emissaries will be retained to serve as the non-political ambassadors they were intended to be. Councillor Elijah Beck has volunteered to resign in order to oversee the new department. We hope that this unfortunate chapter of Alliance history has now been brought to an end. An earlier vote held during the same session has selected Admiral Tahir West of the Tionisla Fleet to join the Council of Admirals, replacing the disgraced Frederick Yamamoto. Evangeline's Elite Expeditionary Force appeal ends. An appeal for materials from Evangeline's Elite Expeditionary Force has concluded successfully. Following coordinated efforts by the galactic community, a large number of deliveries were completed to Chew City and Shanabe. The new megaship, EFS Archangel, has now been completed and is currently undergoing final quality checks from the technicians involved. The group's commander, Archangel Evangeline, provided the following statement. Our command group is preparing the EFS Archangel for her shakedown cruise through the system. On behalf of Evangeline's Elite Expeditionary Force, we salute the galactic community for its support and generous efforts. Without their assistance, this would not have been possible. Contributors to the campaign can now collect their rewards from Chew City in the Shanabe system. Week in review. Here are this week's main stories. President Gibson Kincaid has been removed from office and arrested following a majority impeachment vote. A number of corporate in Kincaid's plan to assume executive control of the alliance have also been arrested. Taj Mira Silva, who privately funded uncovering Kincaid's conspiracy, shared her satisfaction with the news. A company who recently purchased 4,000 Imperial slaves for a construction project in the Eotians system has revealed itself as a slavery emancipation group. The leader of the group, Garrett Klein, declared their affiliation with the radical anti-slavery activists known as Autonomy. The slaves have been freed outside of Port Isabel, the capital of Eotus. Evangeline's Elite Expeditionary Force has announced plans to build a megaship in the Shanabe system. Archangel Evangeline, the faction's commander, has invited the galactic community to contribute materials to the undertaking in exchange for financial reward. And those are the main stories this week. Imperial slaves freed by activists. A company that purchased 4,000 Imperial slaves has revealed itself as a slavery emancipation group. Using the name Tilbury Construction, the group claimed that the slave workforce would be used to build a water treatment facility for Port Isabel, the capital of Eotian Sase 3. Instead, the slaves were transported outside the city and set free. The individual acting as the company's CEO, Garrett Klein, made the following statement. The true purpose of Tilbury Construction was to provide liberty. As members of the group Autonomy, we renounce institutionalized abuse and fight for human dignity. I am proud to say that we have returned 4,000 enslaved people to freedom, so they may live their life however they wish. Autonomy is a network of radical activists opposed to the Empire's tradition of indentured servitude. It has forcibly liberated slaves on several prior occasions.
Star Kruger, Sierra, Whiskey, Echo. It's a pleasure to have you at this federal station, Commander.
But never such a scale. Sagittarius, I appeal. A request for construction materials made by Sagittarius I has ended. The appeal has been enthusiastically received by the galactic community, resulting in an influx of deliveries to McMullen Ring, the organization's base of operations. As a result, a new base named the Printworks has been established in the Melisi system. As the campaign drew to a close, the organization's
landing sequence completed. Disembark when ready.
Person issued the following statement. Thanks to all you delightful pilots, we now have a lovely new Printworks in Melisi to produce the galaxy's finest magazine. We're absolutely thrilled, and everyone who helped is welcome to visit us in our new home. Contributors to the campaign can now collect their rewards from McMullen Ring, in the Melisi system. Evangeline's Elite Expeditionary Force appeal. Evangeline's elite expeditionary force has revealed plans to build a megaship in the Shanabay system. Archangel Evangeline, commander of the faction, made the following announcement. The successful construction of the megaship EFS Archangel will serve not only the Federation, but the entire galactic community.
Pad detached complete. Go for departure.
Well, that was a pointless landing.
EFS Archangel will provide a hub for our military operations, allowing us to bring the fight to our enemies and defend imperiled systems. Together, we will make EFS Archangel a safe place to trade and share knowledge. Long live humanity. To ensure completion of the project, the organization has requested superconductors, computer components and insulating membranes from the galactic community. Pilots who contribute these resources to the Force at Chu City and Shanabay will be rewarded at the conclusion of the project. The campaign will take place between the 13th and 19th of June 3305. If the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. President Kincaid impeached. President Gibson Kincaid has been removed from office after a majority vote in the Alliance Assembly, following charges of treason, murder and corruption. The date of his trial is expected to be confirmed soon. Alliance Interpol confirmed that Kincaid was detained while attempting to flee his personal estate on Zounds. A firefight broke out between Interpol agents and emissaries from the office of the Alliance President, acting as Kincaid's personal bodyguards. Several fatalities were later confirmed. A number of influential corporate and political figures who supported Kincaid's conspiracy to gain executive control of the Alliance have also been arrested, including a senior director at the Bank of Zounds. Prosecutions are expected to rely heavily on the recent testimony of Admiral Frederick Yamamoto and a detailed report provided by the Wall Glass Investigations Agency. Tashmira Silva, who privately commissioned the report, told the media, "I am satisfied that Kincaid will at last face justice for his crimes, including my sister's murder. Phasia championed fairness and succeeded as an entrepreneur by believing in others. She would be pleased to know that the Alliance has been purged of such a corrupt presence."
All clear. Watch your 6, Commander.
That's nice that she wants me to watch for 6. It's nice to know that somebody cares.
Revealed details of a conspiracy organized by President Gibson Kincaid to assume total control of the Alliance. As part of a plea bargain with prosecutors, Yamamoto confessed to a number of crimes committed on Kincaid's orders, including murder. The intent was to remove obstacles to Kincaid's acquisition of power. A large number of Imperial slaves have been purchased by Tilbury Construction to work on a building project on the Otiensis A3. CEO Garrett Klein explained that the company lacks the personnel required to meet the project's deadline, and was therefore forced to seek an alternative workforce. In other news, an appeal for materials has been issued by Sagittarius I. The faction plans to build a new starport within an excavated asteroid in the Milesi system, and has called on the galactic community to support the
Get rid of
endeavor.
this guy.
And those are the main stories this week. Mass purchase of Imperial slaves.
He hasn't been any
Tilbury
trouble, he's just
Construction,
been
a company
boring.
based in the Eotiensis system, has attracted attention following the purchase of 4,000 Imperial slaves. Garrett Klein, the company's CEO, explained, "Tilbury Construction recently won a contract to build a new water treatment facility on the Otiensis Space 3, serving the city of Port Isabel. We are a young company and have not yet acquired the personnel required to meet the ambitious
it's quite a
deadline. An
big
alternative
station.
workforce was therefore required." The anti-slavery charity Unchained has lodged a formal protest with authorities in the
Far enough across the
Otiensis.
system,
A
too.
spokesperson told the media, "Gathering a large number of Imperial slaves in one place brings enormous risk. Conditions are often poor when transporting people in such numbers, which would violate the terms of their indentured servitude. We are also concerned with the lack of information regarding Tilbury Construction and Garrett
planet
Klein,
called
who
Lee.
appears to have no experience managing such projects."
Not even
President
joking.
Kincaid's
That planet
conspiracy
is called
exposed.
Lee.
The Alliance Tribune has revealed that Admiral
Wonder can you
Frederick
land on Lee?
Yamamoto
I'll
has
check it out
committed
once I get
multiple
into
crimes at
the
the behest
depot.
of Alliance President
Seems to be a
Gibson
lot of
Kincaid. In the
conflicts.
detailed report, journalist Vanya Driscoll said, As part of a plea bargain to avoid life imprisonment, Yamamoto has provided Alliance Interpol with data regarding actions carried out on the direct orders of President Kincaid. Along with the assassination of presidential candidate Fazia Silva, Yamamoto arranged to murder, injure and intimidate many others to facilitate Kincaid's rise to power. The Admiral coordinated his efforts with a number of influential corporate, military and political figures who allied themselves with Kincaid in exchange for certain advantages. This included a Bank of Zhang senior directors who illegally redirected funds to bankroll Kincaid's re-election campaign. Kincaid's ultimatum was to transfer...
Sword Kruger, Sierra, Whiskey, Echo, welcome to the station, Commander. Commence with docking procedures.
Executive power from mainly off to Zounds, establishing a base of support to...
You're approved for automated docking sequence.
Eventually become the supreme ruler of the Alliance.
Nice spacey shot for this evening.
Damning testimony from Yamamoto, it seems impossible that his presidency can survive these revelations. Sagittarius I appeal. Sagittarius I has announced plans to construct an asteroid station in the Minizy system. A spokesperson for the faction provided the following statement. We found a lovely asteroid in Minizy that we can hollow out to build our print works in. We don't have a...
Landing completed. Engaging docking restraints. Welcome to the station, Commander.
Great deal of experience with building, but our intern has an engineering degree and tells us that we'll need specific materials. Bring us those and we'll reward you handsomely. In support of this initiative, the organization has placed an open order for cobalt, titanium and tantalum, with rewards available to pilots who deliver these commodities to McMullen Ring in the Melizy system. The campaign will take place between the 6th and 12th of June 3305. If the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. Here are this week's main stories. Zentry in the Sinuafian D1196 system following clashes with Segnan Exchange. CEO Freya Tane confirmed that her company would continue to operate the recently established megaship service and the system's 2 outposts. A new advanced multi-cannon has also been made available for purchase in the prospect.
Yes.
Admiral Frederick Yamamoto has been charged with the assassination of Fazia Silva. In a statement, Tashmira Silva revealed that a privately funded investigation has identified Yamamoto as responsible for arranging her sister's death during last year's presidential campaign. President Gibson Kincaid is yet to comment on the situation. In other news, the investigation into technician Gan Romero has been suspended, with Fort Dixon investigators exhausting all known leads. His stolen ship Sona has speculated whether his exploration vessel was selected for a reason, given Romero's dream journal entries. And those are the main stories this week. Admiral Yamamoto arrested for murder. Admiral Frederick Yamamoto, head of the Alliance fleet in Zounds, has been charged with the assassination of former presidential candidate Fazia Silva. The shocking statement was delivered by Tashmira Silva.
Ship is disengaged from landing pad.
Well, Silva Holdings Inc. after her sister's death. When the inquiry into Fazia's murder closed, I hired the Wargrass Investigations Agency at great expense to uncover the truth. They identified that a professional assassin with a background in the Alliance Defense Force was responsible. Unraveling a complex trail of financial evidence and encrypted communications led directly to Admiral Yamamoto. He personally arranged to have Fazia killed during the presidential election campaign, presumably to remove her political threat to his and Gibson Kincaid. Alliance Interpol recently verified the Wargrass report and has now detained Yamamoto pending trial. Gazan's fleet has been placed placed under the joint command of the Council of Admirals. There has been no comment from
Scan detected.
President Kincaid.
Frameshift drive charging.
Ship thief mystery remains unsolved. The investigation into technician Gan Romero, who stole a docked vessel from the hangar bay at Fort Dixon in the Vega system, has been officially suspended. Security Chief Miss Aggie Sanders made this statement. Apart from the remains of Romero's dream journal, we have no leads and have exhausted all avenues of inquiry. Attempts to track down the stolen ship have returned empty-handed. Until more evidence surfaces, we must reluctantly abandon our efforts. Commander Bjorn Leonard, the owner of the stolen ship, comments.
Frameshift drive charging.
Obviously, I'm not happy about losing my Diamondback Explorer, and I've had to fight for the station's insurance to cover my losses. Still, part of me wonders if my ship was stolen for a reason. It was fitted for exploration with a high jump range, and it sounds like this guy was heading somewhere really far away. They said Romero was delusional, right? Well, maybe he was just invited to a place that most people can't understand. I guess we'll never know. Zandpertons claim victory. The conflict in the Sinu FNHD 1196 system has
Frameshift drive charging.
ended with Zandpertons resisting an expansion attempt from Segnan Exchange. Zandperton CEO Freyatain made the following declaration. With the support of the galactic community, my company has withstood the violent raid created by our rivals. Zandpertons will manage both outposts in the system, and the megaship transport service will continue operating on a weekly basis from Zend. I'm also proud to announce that we have begun manufacture of our new advanced multi-cannon at the Prospect, using recently
sugary
acquired
bones.
Guardian materials. In a subdued response, Cedric Stone stated the following. Segnan Exchange has decided to withdraw from Sinu FNHD 1196 and focus our resources on previously established operations. While this setback has interfered with our research and development schedule, we will learn from this experience and continue to grow as a company. Power Lords who participated in the conflict can now collect rewards from the Sinu FNHD 1196 system.
Oh yeah. There's your shot right there. It's a money shot.
Supporters of Zandpertons must journey to the Prospect, while supporters of Segnan Exchange should visit Indigo Dock. Week in review. Here are this week's main stories. Conflict has broken out in the Sinu FNH D1196 system following a series of attacks against convoys transporting Guardian commodities. Zende Partners, who recently established a research operation in the system aided by a megaship transport service, have claimed the violence was organized by Segnan Exchange. Both corporations have called on the galactic community to support their respective security campaigns. In related news, the prior appeal by Zende Partners to install a technology broker at the Prospect in Sinu FNH D1196 was successful. Guardian modules are now available for purchase at the outpost. Prime Minister Redmond Mahone has called on President Gibson Kincaid to step down pending an official inquiry. Mahone has claimed that Kincaid's unauthorized command of the Alliance's Zounds fleet, combined with recent claims of illegal campaign funding, is sufficient to suspend the presidency. Kincaid has dismissed the demands as unconstitutional. And finally, commentators have linked ship thief Gan Romero's dream journal with the statements given by Jasmina Halsey following the disappearance of Starship One. The Rewired network claimed these bodiless voices had disregarded the relative standing of these two individuals, and questioned how many others had experienced similar calls. And those are the main stories this week. Ship thief linked to Halsey's visions. There has been much speculation about Starship technician Gan Romero, whose dreams are believed to have directed him to steal a ship from a starport hangar. On the Rewired network, independent journalist Flint Firemaker LaFosse offered this analysis. Romero's dream journal entries
No, we're going way out past
suggesting
it.
the Halsey's visions after the Starship One incident 3 years ago. Was this lowly grease monkey in touch with the same caretakers of our galaxy that Halsey claims spoke to her? Sure, it could be coincidence. Maybe even a shared psychological disorder. But it seems possible that Halsey and Romero were telepathically contacted by the same incorporeal intelligence. You can see why they might want to talk to a federal president. But a starport technician? What's so special about Romero? If he's telling the truth, then who knows how many more people have heard these summons from borderless voices over the years. Mahone demands them to Kincaid.
South Kruger, Sierra, Whiskey, Echo. It's a pleasure to have you at this federal station, Commander.
Presidency. Prime Minister Redmond Mahone has called on President...
Access granted. You are go for approach to pad 3-6. Automated docking.
Kincaid to step down pending an official inquiry. Addressing the Alliance Assembly, Mahone said, President Kincaid's decision to assume direct command of the Zounds fleet, coupled with allegations of illegal campaign funding, justify the suspension of his presidential term. Kincaid is now being protected by Admiral Yamamoto's ships as well as emissaries from the office of the Alliance.
Landing gear
Bad out in this space.
incoming mission critical message.
Landing sequence completed. Power down system.
Get a profit anyway, that's alright. Do I want the Diamondback Explorer? Not overly.